This one's got quite the cast for a smaller movie, with names like Naomi Watts, Octavia Spencer and Tim Roth. And the funny thing is that, well, no one's really playing the lead here. I mean, the movie revolves around this high school kid, played by Kevin Harrison Jr. He's a straight-A student, an overachiever, and an adopted child with a tumultuous past. And he's sort of the protagonist, because everything revolves around him. But the movie has a bit of that unreliable narrator thing going on. Because it doesn't follow the kid all the time, and it never reveals what he's thinking, what's going on inside his head. And in that sense, the audience doesn't know much more about what's actually going on than the other characters. You see, this one has this, I don't know what to call it, mystery element, I guess. There are certain things going on that you don't fully understand. Things that are a bit sketchy and you're not really sure who's behind them or what the reasons are. But you slowly learn more and more along with the other characters. Because none of them are really fully point of view characters. You don't stick with a single one, and crucial details are intentionally left out for suspense. But as is the nature of these sort of movies, the true story slowly starts to reveal itself the further into it we get. And I gotta admit, I had no clue that's the kind of movie this was gonna be. I just expected something else, more like a normal drama, I guess. So this definitely caught me off guard. I will also admit that for the first hour or so, I wasn't that convinced by this. Mainly because it was building up so many different threads simultaneously. It didn't really focus on a single one, and that just made the whole thing feel a bit unfocused. I mean, there are like 5 different plot lines going on here. And yeah, for a long time, I didn't really see where it was going with it. And I didn't really trust it to make it all into one cohesive thing, to tie it all together. However, it did, to a large degree anyway. Everything did eventually make sense. More or less anyway. I mean, there were some details I wasn't completely sold on. I don't think everything worked perfectly, but for the most part it did all come together in the end. And yeah, I was wrong not to trust it. I should have just gone along with it from the very beginning. Now, when it comes to the larger themes here, it does have a lot to say. About race, prejudices, expectations, stereotypes, and double standards. And in that sense, it sort of plays with the audience expectations too. You kinda expect certain characters to behave in a certain way, because of how they set it all up. But then it flips it on you, and it does it with more than one character too. And I thought it was kinda clever the way it did that. It definitely drove the point home. Don't judge a book by its cover, etc., because there might be some unexpected depth and complexity to it if you actually dig into it. And I like that about the movie too. None of these characters feel simple and one-dimensional. They all have some nuance to them, and it makes the whole experience a bit more interesting and unpredictable. Now, when it comes to the more technical side of things, it was pretty much fine. Nothing stood out as being all that phenomenal, but nothing was really bad either. I will have to note that I wasn't a huge fan of the score, which is something I rarely have an issue with. But this one I don't think fit the tone and the mood of the movie very well at all. But I mean, that's pretty much the only genuine complaint I have about this. Other than a few smaller issues I had with the overall story and how some of that plot worked out. Now, that being said, I don't think this is a great movie either. But it works, and I did find it to be way more intriguing than I thought it would be. It kept me on my toes, and I was never really sure where it would go. I had some ideas, and it does give you some clues, but I was probably wrong as many times as I was right too. But anyway, would I recommend this? I mean, I've seen far worse, but I don't think it's a must-see or anything. So, you know, maybe give it a look, or don't. After all, I'm not your dad. But hey, what are your thoughts on this? Have you seen it? Did you like it? Let me know. And if you enjoyed the video, maybe give it a thumbs up or sub to the channel, because that would be fantastic. And if you'd like, you can also support me on Patreon or PayPal through the links in the description. And as always, I appreciate you and thanks for watching.